Welcome to New Realities. My name is Steinfeld, and I have back with me this week two guests that I've been really discovering what they have to offer. And they've just written this book, Shamanic Journeys of Egypt, Nicki Scully and Wolf. And in our last conversations, we just got into the basic level of initiations, really, and what it is. That initiation is a sense of gathering, going over a threshold so you can become a new person. And this particular aspect of initiations deals with the ancient Egyptian rites. And Egyptian culture was a very sophisticated body of knowledge. They weren't just worshiping animals. These animals were archetypal symbols of forces of consciousness, and that we're an aspect of this consciousness, and we're here to evolve to embrace all of who we all are on all levels and dimensions. So tonight's show will really delve deeper into the mysteries. So thank you both for being here.
We're delighted. Thank you for having us.
And so what's exciting about just sitting here with you both is that, you know, these beings are with you. They're talking to you, and, you know, and they're living. The gods of Egypt are alive, in a sense. Would you, in your
Absolutely. And anyone who goes to Egypt with an open heart and as a seeker is going to discover that simply by being there, because the granite, the stone itself of those monuments hold the entire history of what's gone down there and the intention of the adepts that built them. And it's very loud and clear to anyone who walks in.
Well, in Schwaller's book, The Temple of Man, Schwaller de Lubitsch has a thick 2-volume book. He says it is all built with intention. The ancient Masons were encoded the divinity within stone as a blueprint to take us back home. I mean, that's what you're saying.
So the subtle body that is imbued into the stone is called the Ka, and the Ka of the statuary and the temples themselves are awakened, almost like awakened beings. And so when you resonate with those frequencies, then you are informed by them.
So the architecture actually had a frequency that would resonate anyone who came in contact with to its vibration. I mean,
I believe that. I know that for the people that come and travel on our tours through Egypt, it's like they're a tuning fork that's being rung on the granite of those temples. And by the time you've passed through all the rites and been informed through your experience in all those places, then your whole frequency is changed, and it will affect and influence those around you, even if you never said a word about it. It's that powerful.
Yeah. Well, I just also wanted to ask, the Ba and the Ka, you said the Ba is what? The Ba?
The Ba would be the individual soul.
And the Ka?
The Ka is our connection to the larger ancestral lineage.
So our collective consciousness, and the Ba is the and the Kaaba in Mecca, is that related? And the Kabbalah? Is that probably
I imagine they're related, but it's not a language I'm familiar with. Do you know those?
But the inner voice is saying yes. The inner voice is saying yes.
Linda Starr-Wolf really picks up on those inner voices, and we're going to really get in, because when you went to Egypt, as we said before, you just started to get in touch with these beings, and you said, who are they? And luckily, Nicki knew who they were, right?
Right. In fact, I think it saved my life.
In what way?
Well, first off, in doing shamanic breath work, the work that we do at Venus Rising Institute, the work is an internal, and so I would say that it's an inner Egypt. And just like Nicki was talking about the resonance that happens with the temples, we see the body as a temple, and that all the realms and all the dimensions and all places on the earth and beyond exist in and around and through us. So through the power of the breath and this inner experience, we were able to tap into this energy. But I didn't ever say, well, this is inner Egypt. It was just, this is the shaman within. This is the healer within. But naturally, through this experience, various powerful symbols would come up. And some of the symbols appeared to be Egyptian in nature. This
When
piqued
you were
my-
in Egypt?
Well, prior to this.
Oh, prior to you,
for
they
all
were,
the many
I
years.
see.
I think that's what led me to Nicki, or led Nicki to me. We had this shamanic connection. So when I decided I wanted to go to Egypt, it was, if you want to go to Egypt, you must go with Nicki.
That's what people told you. But you were a channel
Yes.
of other beings?
Different energies. I've had different...
As beings
yes,
outside of you,
yes.
or your higher self? I mean,
Both.
So, but these beings outside of you, what form did they take? Which traditions?
Many different traditions. Zachariah Sitchin's work, I found...
Of the Sumerian.
Yes, that the energies of Inanna came through me very early on. Also, someone called Lila too. She called herself Lila to me, and she came through, and I did quite a bit of work around her. And then when I read Zachariah Sitchin's work, I found out there was someone actually called Lila too. So there were others
like a
before
Lilith.
that.
Is that connected to Lilith?
Yes, there's an energy that's similar to that. Yes.
So when you got to Egypt, all those energies were brand new to you,
Yes,
basically.
Basically, yes.
So, and you said you got sick, and then did these beings start to appear to you? What happened?
Well,
I was ill, and I was lying on the bed, and Nicki came in, and we were deciding whether I was going to leave or not.
I invoked them.
You invoke, so your
Essentially.
guide is Thoth, and that's...
My teacher is Thoth, but the whole family of the Neteru, the pantheon of Egypt, I work with. I priestess
and
them
you
when I
see
take
them,
my groups
and you
there.
see them, or talk to them,
I'm
or
not
feel
a
them?
seer.
You feel them.
What's interesting, I know them. It's different.
Okay.
I'm a knower. Star Wolf is a seer and a feeler. And I'm also a catalyst in my presence, which is why people come to me to study healing or go to Egypt. In my presence, they begin to see and have these experiences.
Because of the level of initiation you went through, and they resonate with a kind of
Perhaps.
frequency that you hold.
I didn't look at it quite that way. It's just it's almost like chemistry. I'm
was
just
a
a
spiritual
catalytic.
midwife.
I'm a catalytic
Spiritual midwife.
agent.
So you're like a
And a spiritual
like a bridge to those other realms that allow them
Yes.
to come into this
Yes.
world and work with other beings.
And I can hold their kite strings so they can fly.
So you came in while she was sick, and you brought these gods of Egypt with you.
So, to see what's going on here.
Okay, and that's when you started to tune into the gods of
Her
Egypt.
question, she said, I was lying back on bed, she said, what is Thoth saying? And I just started speaking.
And how did you know Thoth was there? Because you felt him. You knew.
Well, because that's who orchestrates my work. And if I go to Egypt, I know that behind everything that happens, there is a wisdom that it's up to me to interpret or find the purpose of. So when I get into a situation where I don't know, I call for advice and help, and that's the first.
On Thoth or on any of the gods?
Well, I call him first. If I'm at a particular temple that's dedicated to a specific god, I may call on that god. But always, when things get intense, I go for the source.
Right. So
which is Thoth.
and did you then see Thoth?
Yes.
He saw him with his ibis
well,
head.
I said, she said, what does he look like? And I said, well, he has a bird head. And she said, that's Thoth. And what is he saying? And I couldn't remember afterwards. She had to tell me what I had said. But I said, has it been 10 minutes, 15? She said, it's been 2 hours.
So what did Thoth say?
Well, what I learned to do early on in my work, back when I was researching for power animal meditations in the 80s, is to have a computer or some device. And so I'm a scribe.
So you like Thoth, right?
So
you had a
exactly.
computer.
As soon as I realized that she was hooked in, pull out the computer and take it down, every word.
The wonderful part about this is that I could breathe. And see, I was having difficulty breathing. And they thought that I might have pneumonia. They couldn't, mold, allergy, they couldn't figure it out. But when I would do this work, I could breathe. I didn't have any symptoms. I felt free. I felt bathed in light. The energies were swirling around me. I could see all of these incredible beings as clearly as I could see you.
Really?
I could see them.
All these Egyptian beings.
And it was like an amazing circle of love.
Wow.
And wanting me to come forth with this energy. And so it would pour out of me. I could go for hours without any symptoms.
She would describe what they were wearing, what they wore on their heads, what their symbols were, and that's how I knew who
And you
they
didn't know
were.
anything about
Because
that, but you would just see it.
and she would see it, and then I would be, through my experience,
you did your homework. Yes. But,
be able to interpret and then
wow.
check my interpretation with her, because once we realized who we were dealing with, then she could simply ask. So I would ask her questions.
And then we could even walk into the temple and she would say, is this the right thing, or are we going to do this, or what's the ritual we're doing? And I could just close my eyes and
it's
kind
right
of
there.
lean back against the pillar of the temple,
Right.
and out it would come. And going to the temple, I would be weak and I would feel like I couldn't make it. We would get in, we would start the ritual.
Did you find that, because I loved Egypt, I went to all the temples up the Nile, not all of them, but I loved Philae and Edfu, the Temple of Horus. Did you see Horus at the Temple of Horus? How is he?
Wonderful, wonderful. And
we have the privilege of that temple to ourselves at night.
You did? Oh, I love the
amazing.
Temple of Edfu.
And that's actually where you receive your heart.
Where
the heart comes back
where it comes back to you, because the beginning of these rites, it has to be removed so that the vessel of your being can be prepared.
Like you're saying, Anubis removes the heart.
Yes, and that's actually in the beginning, the heart is removed.
And it's put in a canopic jar, and it's being worked on and renewed and healed and revitalized while you go to the temple of Khnum, and you receive a new body, and you receive the illumination from Thoth, and all these various rites in order to be prepared for the marriage of the heart and the mind in the new intelligent heart that comes back to you at the Temple of Edfu.
And that's put back into you, and then you continue your journey of integration.
Yes.
There.
And this is part of the message that the pantheon of Egypt is bringing to us now.
What's the message? What is the
that we need renewed hearts. That we need to come back to the heart of the matter.
Well, it's not just Egypt. That's everyone's saying that.
Absolutely.
You know, there was an Icelandic shaman I had here the other day. He says, "What will it take to melt the hearts of men?"
Exactly.
It's the message of the day, and so this book
is the form.
is providing tools so that people can do that for themselves. Because we can't. The time for charismatic leaders is over.
Right.
We have to all find the authenticity within ourselves. We have to accept the wholeness and fullness of who we are.
Right. Everybody's saying, I'm hearing that. But what is so important about Egypt? Because it seems like there's a real key there.
Well, I believe because it's about as far back as we can get in our mind's eye.
As far as our historical
as
earth
our roots.
plane. Yes.
As our roots. And we can look back through Rome, through the Greeks, we can look back to Christianity, we can look back and we can go back to Egypt, and that's about as far as we can see in concrete form in the temples that are still there.
Yes.
But there's things prior to that. There's civilizations before that.
But
this is something that even historians and scholars will say, well, this existed, these religions existed. There was something mystical and powerful happening there.
And they wrote the instructions. And even though the interpretations may not be right on, we're honing in closer on it.
Do you think we're coming full circle now? We're coming back to Egypt, the next level of the spiral.
Yes.
So here we are returning back to the source, which is the source of our Western tradition, and
remembering
and coming to the next level, which they say 2012. Jose Aguillas, originally said that 2012 began 5,000 something years ago with the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt. He says that began the myth of progress. When those kingdoms were united, started Western civilization on this illusionary path of progress. And as we come to the end of this Mayan calendar, we complete that myth and we come into the real opening of who we are. But we need to go through this.
And that's the bringing together of spirit and matter. It's infusing matter with spirit. And in order for us to be thus infused and with the intelligence that comes with that, that's going to show us the way, we have to expand our consciousness. We've become so dense, and every birth is a contraction into dense matter. In order for that matter to become spiritualized, we have to expand literally, so that our molecules are moved apart by the energy we bring in through these rites, and then can be informed by spirit. And once those connections are made in our body in a visceral way, then we are directly connected to our own divinity. We know ourselves fully, and we can begin to co-create the future that is the realization of the dream that's been held for us.
So what I'm hearing you say is, because we got sort of stuck at this cross, we need to go back and re-experience levels of consciousness as represented here by the Egyptian gods
Or
and
go
goddesses.
forward.
Go forward. But what we need in order to bring us to the next level is a higher integration of these levels of initiation that you lay out in this book, and also on your journeys. I mean, it'd be great to go to Egypt with you guys and go through those temples and bring through the gods and have that realization. But you do it here for people who can't go to Egypt.
We do it both ways.
Yeah.
And there's many ways to do it, and certainly one of the most powerful ways to do that is to actually go to Egypt.
Yes.
But there's also an inner Egypt that we can tap into right here, right now, for all those people who will never actually travel there, to remember, and it's in the heart.
Well,
the mysteries are in the heart.
Well, we should go through a little, because we
Yes.
did it last show. I mean, it'd be great to have an initiation, because I know you're getting messages, aren't you? Are you getting them right now?
Yes.
What are they saying?
Well, who I see
Yes.
wants to come in to the studio here with us is Sekhmet.
Oh, I love Sekhmet. Yes.
Yes, and she's, if I could just go in for a
Yes.
moment.
Go,
Okay,
please.
is that okay
Please.
with
No,
you?
absolutely.
Okay, all
I
right.
love that.
And the first time that I saw her was in Egypt. I'd seen her before in breathwork, shamanic breathwork experiences, but I didn't know who she was. But this time, with Nicki there, I knew who she was. I knew who her name was. And what I saw is I saw her coming across the desert. And she's traveling on a beautiful chariot.
The lion goddess.
Yes, and she has this veil, and it's flying in the wind, and there's the hot sun behind her, and this radiant, fiery energy, and you know that nothing will ever be the same once Sekhmet enters into your life. And again, she's another goddess, another energy that somewhat has this feeling that you're a little bit intimidated. What's pulling her chariot are 3 cobras, and she's traveling across the sands. And as she's coming in with this fiery energy propelling her forth, she is the part of us that's called transformation. And in the traditional tarot, she is number 7. She's the transformer. She's the chariot. And as she comes in, she says, I'm here not to hurt you, but I am here with fierce compassion, because I am not willing to allow you to stay stuck in the muck. I'm not willing to allow you to stay the same. I'm here to help support you and move you and give you the courage, the strength, the stamina, and the compassion for yourself to move forward in your life and to move consciousness forward. And so she's here today with us, and she's saying, let's give that initiation here right now.
Go ahead. Yes, let's
Okay.
play the music, and let's give that initiation of Sekhmet, because I think that will uplift everyone who's watching this and give them the power of fierce transformation, because you have to be fierce sometimes. You know, you can't be nice all the time.
But remember that Sekhmet is also the quintessential healing goddess of Egypt.
Okay.
Here she is.
Okay, here she comes.
So taking a deep breath into your heart. Closing your eyes. Pulling in the energies of earth and sky. Opening the heart. In your mind's eye, look out across your internal desert, the place of dryness, the place where things are coming to an end in your reality.
And from that place, you see swiftly streaking across that desert a movement of swirling sands. And as it comes closer, you begin to make out the shape of the chariot made from these 3 huge cobras. And within the chariot, her veil glittering with gold and flowing back in the wind, you see the bright green flaring eyes of the goddess, her lioness head becoming clearer as she gets closer and closer.
And as she travels in, feel the energies going directly into your heart, throughout your entire being. Sekhmet is her name, the healing one, the all-powerful one, Lady of Power and Healing. She's here just for you.
The chariot stops. She dismounts and walks toward you. And as you look in her eyes, you see that she is seeing you and knowing you fully, and she takes her lioness paw and she places it upon your heart.
And as she touches your heart, there's a quickening that moves through your entire being, through your blood, through your bones, through your teeth. Your breath deepens and quickens.
Every cell of your being awakens and feels her power surging through you, filling you, informing you, reminding you who you are and who you can be.
Sekhmet remembers who you are. She has never forgotten. And her commitment is to constantly remind you whenever you begin to forget. So she is fierce in her compassion. She comes to you because your soul has called her. She is here because she has answered your call. She has come from a great distance across the deserts of time to help you remember who it is that you truly are.
And as you feel her power integrating into your being, into your body, into your spirit, into your heart, there's not only a sense of power, but a sense of great relief.
You're no longer alone. Someone is with you that gives you the courage and the strength to transform. And so she bends over and she puts her warm mouth against your heart. And she breathes deeply into your heart the seeds of transformation. Feel her breath enlivening your heart
and planting the seeds of your sacred purpose. These seeds you can continue beyond this journey to water with your attention, your awareness, and your love, and they will grow.
So take just a moment to let the seeds take root. Just breathing and looking into the eyes of the all-powerful Sekhmet.
And then be sure to ground and center yourself as you feel yourself returning back into the physical world wherever you happen to be at the moment. But bringing this awareness, this power, this magnificent energy and remembrance into your world and into your life now.
Knowing that you have all that you need within you to change and to grow into who it is that you really already are.
Thank you. Wow. This is better than an interview. It's like a whole workshop.
That's what we do.
It's what?
I said it's what we do
That
individually
is
and together.
great. Because, you know, lots of people do meditations on this show, but I don't really go with it sometimes. And now it's like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got that Sekhmet, and I think, yeah, the images of my cats came to me as an embodiment of that energy, and that, yeah, what is it about that archetypal form of the lioness and the goddess? What is that? How does this image communicate those feelings? You know what I'm saying? Why the lioness? I mean, just because what she represents as a lion, or?
Well, she is the quintessential feminine fire. And she is the energy. She is the spark. She is the consort of Ptah. So she provides the fuel, the spark for his. He is constantly issuing creation.
And who is Ptah? What does he look like? Ptah?
He's on the front of the book.
He's on the front of the book.
It's his tongue comes out. See, he thinks with his heart.
Oh, so the tongue is connected to the heart.
Absolutely.
And Chinese medicine is connected to the heart,
The
too.
beautiful thing about Ptah is what he has shared with us, is that, and it's also historically in the literature, is that whatever Ptah thinks within his heart,
he speaks.
He speaks. And when he speaks, it comes into creation. But I'd like to say that Sekhmet is his oomph.
His
Sekhmet is his fire.
The fire that sparks the spark.
Women do that.
She's his tantrika.
Yes.
And Thoth is his tongue.
Thoth?
Thoth is the tongue of Ptah.
Oh, so it's Ptah's dream.
Yes.
And Sekhmet is the fire of the dream to make it manifest.
The dream.
The Shakti.
The Kundalini in some ways.
Yes, the Kundalini.
Well, she has the cobras. She has dominion over that energy.
So each culture was able to represent it according to the raw materials of that culture. In Egypt, Egypt sort of set the archetypal foundation
They're the
for
great-grandparents.
Civilization itself. There's so much to go into just in that, but I feel thank you for that journey and initiation. And tell people about how to get in touch with you and your trips, and I would say read the book to go on those levels and those next levels of initiation.
I'd also like to encourage people that took this journey today, if they would please take some time to journal and to continue to dialogue with Sekhmet, because it's important to understand she will speak to you. Okay. She will continue the dialogue.
So just give us your email.
Okay. Shamanicjourneys.com, and the book is The Shamanic Mysteries of Egypt, Awakening the Healing Power of the Heart.
And it's shamanicbreathwork.org, and it's Venus Rising Institute for Shamanic Healing Arts. And we're grateful to be here.
Thank you so much. I've been talking to Nicki Scully and Linda Starr-Wolf, the authors of this new book. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and there's just so much more to talk to you about, so you'll have to come back sometime. This is New Realities, and if you want to reach me, I'm at newrealities@earthlink.net. I welcome comments, and especially if you've had an experience along with this show, because I did, so I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. It was great.
That was fun.
That's fun.
Thank you. That was powerful. Yes. Thanks, Joe.
Sekhmet loved that.
She
said that she wants more airtime.
Well, the air feeds her fire.